movement towards an admission by the US government of things that seem unimaginable.
Okay. This is MXUX. I tried to do a bit of an intro there. This is on the Need to Know channel. This is a full interview regarding David Gresch and the whistleblower. And I just wanted to give my impression of what's going on and the risks I think associated with this. First of all, I think this is a full data dump that has basically backed up everything that every UFO researcher has been saying for the past, 20 years anyway. There have been some omissions which he may have given in his private commentary to Congress. He mentions this is a 90-year cover-up, which would imply that he's going into the Nazi and earlier than that, the Italian pre-World War II UFO crash and the Nazi alien partnership, to betray the human species. So that's an implication here. But I think there's a couple things. First of all, this is the biggest challenge to MJ-12, and make no doubt about it, MJ-12 is the secret organization, in my opinion, that Gresch is talking about. And it's my opinion that MJ-12 is a superordinate intelligence operation in the United States, perhaps across the entire military-industrial complex, at least in the Western world. I just want to put this out there first. Now, I've done a number of videos lately on the JFK assassination and the involvement with UFOs. Also indicated in these research projects is RFK, also same fate, assassinated by MJ-12 to keep the UFO cover-up going. We have RFK Jr. running for president right now. It's very important that his security be the highest priority, that he limit risk at all costs. I think a fear of MJ-12 would be the election of Robert F. Kennedy Jr., because were he to get access to this material, I am sure that he would probably verify the questions he has in his own mind regarding the assassination of his father and of his uncle. And I think that perhaps John F. Kennedy Jr. as well. Certainly Marilyn Monroe, Dorothy Kilgallen, certainly the impeachment of Richard Nixon. These are all MJ-12 activities, in my opinion. So, Robert F. Kennedy is at risk because of this development. I think you can see by the muted response of the traditional press that MJ-12 and, we've all heard about Project Mockingbird, and I'm sure there are other similar projects in existence to control the media. Of course, these podcasts and webcasts, there's perhaps too numerous. But the thing is that they're going to try to suppress this at all costs. I think they are going to lean on these members of Congress. Now, I just heard during the course of this interview that none of the congressional members actually went to hear Gresch talk. They sent their lawyers, they sent their aides. I think everybody's in the government is a little afraid. I think in the back of their mind, they have an idea that MJ12 is there, certainly. Let's talk about Forrestal. So anyway, there's a great risk. There's a great risk to this reporter. There's a great risk to Gresch, and I think here's a key factor in all of this. These guys are going public trying to protect themselves, so that this is all out, and so that nothing can be done to them. It's very important to note that the guy that Gresch reported this to actually became his attorney, so he knew he had heard the unspoken words, and he's out to protect himself as well. So this is very serious from that standpoint. I think it's something that people aren't mentioning. I think it should be mentioned. I think that again, to protect RFK Jr., and this is not a political channel. I have no political position on this. However, I think this represents a real threat to RF Kennedy Jr., running for president as a Democrat, who is actually doing pretty good in the polls right now. And I think that at MJ12, or whatever that organization may be called right now, internally, I think they are having meetings right now, and they are concerned about his run for the presidency. And we'll have to see. Hopefully we won't have another tragedy. I think being forewarned is being prepared, and I'm very serious about this. Having done extensive research into John F. Kennedy and the UFO topic, as well as Bobby Kennedy. You can see my last video about White Sands Missile Base and the timing of those events and those assassinations. It's very, I don't know what the right word is. The concurrence of that White Sands video coming out and this report coming out and RFK running for president. And I'm not meaning to elevate myself. I am just telling you what the evidence is saying here. But anyway, having gotten that warning out of the way, I think that is hypercritical. I think that needs to be blasted throughout the internet. Share this video. Forget this channel. Share this video for our democracy. Anyway, getting back to this release, this guy is credible. Anyone that's been doing any kind of UFO research for the past 20 years knows all these topics he's bringing up are well known. None of this is fabrication. His background, Russ Coulthard here has investigated his background. He pretended he was responsible for at least being the courier, if not preparing part of the president's daily briefing. That is the highest security level. I actually knew a guy who was a courier at the White House for documents related to that. That is, the highest outside of MJ12. That's kind of the highest level of security you can be involved in the U.S. government. It's right up there with the Joint Chiefs of Staff. So I think he's right. Obviously, alien bodies, reverse engineered crafts. This is all Corso. This is all been discussed. Bob Dean. I mean, you can view some of my videos. As I said, there's not a library on UFO investigations. If there were, my goodness, every bit of that information would be verified by what this individual is talking about. Now, it's important to note, there's 7 hours of interview with this reporter. They've only released a small portion. They're going to dribble it out, I guess, to get the most ratings they can. So there's much more to come. He has provided information to the Congress, the Aero Commission, I guess, committee, that can't be released otherwise. He's admitted things like abduction, the alien hybrid program, the Nazi space program, the Nazi alien cooperation during World War II, although I believe he's alluded to that by saying this is a 90-year time frame. And there's other topics that he's left out. Obviously, all of the Majestic 12 mentions are deleted here. They talk about a cabal. Everyone talks about a cabal. I'm going to start talking about a cabal. When you watch my future videos, if I say cabal, it's MJ12, because it is... it's the third rail of UFO research. If you watch the recent panel discussion by everybody at the UFO conference in the desert here, none of them will mention MJ12. But we've got... we've got a whole industry going on in space that no one's talking about. This military-industrial complex, headed by MJ12, it's totally secret. It's been funded by the U.S. taxpayers and so forth. So there's much to come out here. And anyway, I just want to close this by saying I think the most critical thing here is this Robert F. Kennedy link is critical. Robert F. Kennedy, if you're watching this, if one of your people are watching this, I kind of doubt that, but if you are, you have to be extremely careful. The closer RFK Jr. gets to the presidency, the more at risk he is. If he were to gain the presidency and gain access to these files, they would reveal, the demise of his father and his uncle. And this is something I do not believe, let's call it the cabal, would allow. Okay, this is UAP. Hope you like the video.